Today we're gonna check out Gigguk's new video. This genre will replace Isekai, and I'm really hoping that he kind of goes in the route that I've been talking about recently. Logo reveal. But first, click the like button, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more reactions. I mean, to Gigguk videos, to anime. I do mainly anime reactions, but every time Gigguk drops a video, he's got something to say. I think that it's pretty important for the culture, you know, the anime culture, so I watch those as well. And you can find the full link as well as exclusives to all the anime reactions that I do over on Patreon. I also have a second channel where I do non-anime reactions if you're interested. Link for that's down in the description. And link for my Twitch channel is down in the description where I do seasonal anime reactions live with the community. Maybe you're interested in those too. All right, let's watch the video.
Guys, I think I'm done with Isekai. At this point, I've seen it all. Isekai with power fantasies, economics, politics, using swords, smartphones, where the protagonist is reincarnated as a slime, vending machine, even—
Bro, this has literally been me for like 6 months. 6 months. This was me 6 months ago. Maybe even 9. Maybe even a year. There's just a lot. There, you know, like every once in a while there's a good one. Like vending machine, I don't think is bad. There's good ones, there's bad ones, but like—
a goddamn hot spring. For the longest time, Isekai was just my comfort food. Something I could just—
Wait, there's an Isekai where the main character is—
even a goddamn hot spring.
I don't even know.
For the longest
What do you
time,
say? How can
Isekai
I
was just my comfort food. Something I could just turn my brain off and enjoy while using as few neurons as possible. Yeah, I knew it was unhealthy junk food, but sometimes—
Wait. For the most part. That's what Gigguk's trying to say here. He's not saying all of it is unhealthy junk food. For the most part, it is. Though there is greatness within the genre. There are phenomenal series, amazing stories, real fucking funny shit in this genre. I'm not giving you my top 5 Isekai because you're not going to like it. It's not going to make you happy. But there are some really funny things. Eminence in Shadow. I mean, obviously, Konosuba. Isekai Oji-san? I mean, can we call that Isekai? Why not, right? Good stories. Re:Zero, Mushoku Tensei. There's great world building and character casts. Tensura, Overlord, right? There's a lot of great series out there. Tanya the Evil, and we could go down this list. There's so many. Ascendance of a Bookworm, phenomenal. There's a ton. But there's also, I was the strongest person, but now I'm even stronger than I was before. You know, those things. Like, it's like, I was this little shithead, and now I'm a strongest stupid bitch in another world. Like, there's so many of those that it dilutes the greatness within the genre. That's what Gigguk's trying to say. I got you. He didn't want to go through all that and explain it, so I did it for him. But I know what he's trying to say. We're in sync. It's gonna be May.
Sometimes you just want to indulge in something that feels familiar. But eventually, I've come to realize that as good as it tastes, eating too much McDonald's is detrimental to my health. So anyway, I started eating KFC. Regression is a very popular genre in Korea.
Yes, manhwa. This is what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying. Can we— now he's saying specifically regression manga, which is really manhwa, which is really, really big in Korea, right? Regression. It's essentially like the Isekai of Korea. But I've been saying, can we stop doing so many Isekai? Instead of having the 6 shitty Isekai that we get every season, can we dial it back to like 2 of the lesser Isekai? We could still get our new seasons of the great ones. Overlord, Tanya, Ascendance of a Bookworm, Mushoku Tensei, Tensura, like all of these great ones, right? Give me the new seasons of those. Let's finish up those great stories. But as far as the reincarnated idiot, I don't care about those, you know? Let's get some manhwa in here. This is what I've been saying.
The latest landfill dumpster rabbit hole I have once again fallen into. The genre is to manhwa what Isekai is to anime and manga, and is about as equally detrimental to my health. Now, if you don't know what manhwa is, well, it's kinda like manga, except it's spelled like this. And it comes from Korea. Allow me to show you that your dedication to trashy stories can go beyond a single genre, a single medium, and now beyond a single nation. But first, ad time. Before we continue, I'd like to thank today's sponsor.
Yo, somebody got mad at me for not playing the ad last time. I'm going to play the ad, but I'm going to cut it out of the video. So I'm going to watch it.
So check that link in the description below to get yours.
I want a free laptop, dude. I'll do a sponsorship for a free laptop.
Back to
and then all the 5 people that watch my videos It's worth it. No, trust me. No. I swear. No, I get so many views. Oh my god, dude. Like, not millions. You know, a couple thousand.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, first off, what the hell is regression? Imagine a trope that feels awfully similar to what you get to see in Isekai.
It's
but instead of
very
seeing someone
similar.
getting transported to another world and living their fantasy there, the protagonist
You redo your life in the same world, right? That's what a regressor is. I've only read like 1 or 2 regressor anime, manhwa.
gets transported back in time to an earlier point in their lives with all the knowledge of future events intact. Sometimes it's a one-off leap, and sometimes they can regress back as many times as they want with certain conditions. If that sounds familiar to you, it's because, well, it's not exactly a concept we haven't seen before. Tokyo Revengers and Erased are basically a story about 2 different regressors, and hell, ReZero and Summertime Render's time loop is essentially just a regression mechanic. But now, we're just setting the bar too high. The big difference is a lot of regression manhwa tend to focus on the protagonist using their knowledge of the future as a sort of new game plus approach to their lives.
Bro, and we are getting a big regressor anime coming. They did announce that they were making an anime for a big regressor series. Wait, could you count it as a regressor series? Ooh, I guess I guess not. Wait, it's a series with regressors, but the main character isn't one.
Use their knowledge to correct past mistakes in their lives or get a revenge.
I haven't read it in a long time.
Most others use it to become really OP in
yeah,
whatever world they're in.
That's the way you gotta do
Probably
it.
A fantasy world with video game elements. Like I said, different trash, same smell. So in that case, the first anime title that comes to mind is... Oh
no.
Oh, this doesn't look good for me at all. But, like Isekai, there are a lot of regression titles out there. Some are the same copy-paste titles you've seen a million times before. Some actually use the core concept in different ways. So, with more manhwa not only getting adaptations, but becoming some of the most popular anime of the season,
what are the series
and some actual regression manhwa adaptations starting to sneak in through the cracks, like A Returner's Magic Should Be Special, I think this is a genre we are only going to see more of in the future. Alright, you've piqued my curiosity. So, where do I start? Okay, here's what we're gonna do.
Here we go.
The original plan was that I was going to run through a bunch of titles, then I realized halfway through writing about the 10th regression with a fantasy backdrop, video game-esque abilities, a dungeon crawling structure with a big mysterious tower to climb, my fucking mind was starting to regress back to pee-pee-poo-poo age. So instead, what I'm going to do is just speed run through some titles in different categories and focus on a few that really stood out to me. This way I can show you some of my favorites and prove that not every regression...
That is the series. This is the series I'm talking about. Because I don't think it's actually the regressor, but it kind of has regressors. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got a regressor element, but it's not the... Anyways.
Regression manhwa is a fantasy series where the main character can regress and get super OP because of it. So, let's start with fantasy manhwa, where the main character can regress and get super OP because of it. Look, it wouldn't be a proper introduction without starting off with a series like this, okay? Like looking at Isekai and seeing the same copy and paste Sword Art Online clones, going through manhwa can feel like reading 1,000 different iterations of solo leveling, except hey, this time the main character can also regress. So the series I actually want to talk about is SSS-class Revival Hunter. Not to be confused with my S-class hunters, the SSS rank hunters lucky draw, civil servant hunters S-class resignation log, but is to be confused with SSS-class Suicide Hunter, which is the other name for the series.
Oh, what about SSS-class Trash? Isn't there a trash one?
A fucking great start. Honestly, after seeing this title, I went into the series with half my brain turned off in fear that using over 10 neurons would hamper my enjoyment of it. But lo and behold, this
is one that a lot of people told me to read back when I was like reading Solo Leveling
had some of the most fantastic storytelling I could find in the genre, which is a fucking shocker because this is like having a light novel titled Reborn as the Weakest Mage that became the strongest dickhead thanks to his cheat skill in another world, and it turned...
That's a fucking dude. This is literally this is what I'm talking about, bro. Oh my god, that's literally what I'm talking about, dude. Oh my god.
Kane of Isekai. After a mysterious tower appears, and people from all over the world gather to enter it, and yada yada yada. You know how it goes. There are monsters on every floor. People get special skills when they enter, and anyone who tries to climb the floors and hunt the monsters are called hunters, like the Flame Emperor, the top-ranked hunter. He has wealth, fame, power, and all that shit they say in the One Piece opening. Women want to be with him. Guys want to be him, which is exactly how our protagonist, Gongja, feels. A lowly F-ranked hunter whose only SSS class ability seems to be shitposting. He just like me for real. Out of nowhere though, the power grants him his first S-ranked ability, a power that allows him to copy any skill other people have. The catch? He can only copy the skills of anyone who kills him. And, oh, It only activates after he's already dead. Dejected at gaining a skill he'll never be able to use, he accidentally runs into the Flame Emperor and finds out that in person he is, how do I say this? A bit of a shit cunt. Gongja gets senselessly murdered by the dude, but as it turns out, the Flame Emperor has a skill that allows him to travel back in time exactly 24 hours every time he dies, which is the exact skill he needs not only to prevent his own death, but also make use of the one skill he has. Oh wow.
Of course, wow. Who would have saw
that? What a coincidence. Who could have guessed this could ever happen? After waking up with his newfound powers, he decides to take...
what a coincidence. Yeah, that's literally exactly how I fucking react, or how I... That's literally, Gigguk just did exactly what I wanted to do. Oh, wow. Who would have thought?
Revenge. So he travels back in time to a point before the Flame Emperor awoke his powers by offing himself 4,090 times. Yes, you heard that right. 4,090 times. This motherfucker unalived himself so much, he might as well change his pronouns to was/were. But after taking revenge, the real meat of the story comes when he uses his newfound ability to climb fours, become one of the most respected hunters in the land, and uncover the secrets behind this mysterious tower. Alright, I'm gonna be real here.
Read this now.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna read this shit now. I kinda do. Oh, man.
The plot synopsis makes this sound like the most generic, trashy regression manhwa you can find, because it absolutely is. At the beginning. But as you continue, you come to realize that this is not the generic trashy show you expected it to be. But what sets Revival Hunter apart is the level of world building and different clear conditions when it comes to every floor. Instead of feeling like a dungeon, each floor is more akin to a different world with its own people, conflict, and hardships. Every stage is so thematically different and presents a different philosophy that Gongja has to face, and he never comes out the same person as when he entered. On the surface, it seems obvious what needs to be done to clear each floor, but as you dig deeper in each world, you realize there is far more going on underneath. This is honestly more reminiscent to seeing Luffy travel to different islands and resolving the different conflicts he encounters. But where the regression comes in is seeing Gongja's unwavering commitment to giving each world the one
This man's name's Ganja?
thing he thinks every place deserves. A happy ending. And to do that, he will retry the floor as many times as he needs to get the conclusion he wants. While Subaru is out here learning in Season 2 that maybe he shouldn't be relying on his return by death ability so much, Gongja saw one low-tier god video and thought it was a Mr. Beast challenge. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times optimizing every little path, getting a better understanding of every single person, spending more time to truly empathize with the struggles of every floor before coming up with his own resolution. It's never about beating the final boss, it's about giving the characters in the world the closure they need, no matter how much suffering it takes to get there. If you have enough patience to get to floor 21, or the mirror mark of this story, you'll be able to see what makes this series special. This is where the series truly comes into its own, with some of the most beautiful storytelling I've seen in this genre. Normally with these videos, I like to save the best till last, but I'll just go out and say that this was my favorite regression manhwa I've ended up reading so far. I came in looking for trash and I somehow ended up finding gold. Whoa, Gigguk, I thought we were trying to get off Isekai. What if I don't want another fantasy show with video game mechanics? Isn't there anything more realistic? I mean, sure, let's be real here. The first thing I'd do if I was able to regress back with my knowledge intact is maybe buy a Bitcoin, invest in some Apple stocks. Tell
Me, I would do all these things, yes!
Justin Wong, don't do it! He's capable of parrying the super! Well, don't worry, there's a manhwa for that. Except the Justin Wong thing, that was a joke. I would never deprive gamers of the greatest moment in esports history. Past Life Returner is there.
I don't know what that is. I've never been Tekken fan.
If you want a series about a guy regressing back and getting rich through hedge funds and financial investments, Medical Return takes the regression formula and puts it into a medical drama, with a doctor regressing back to fast-track his medical career while making every other doctor look like a dumbass. To Be an Actor does this even better in my opinion, except with a successful actor rising up even faster to stardom again, if that one arc in Oshinoko wasn't enough to get your fix. But for a grounded regression drama, I very much enjoyed A Man's Man. Hansung, one of the biggest technology companies in Korea, has just appointed their youngest ever CEO, Yoo Yeon-hang. He has it all. Power, fame, fortune, and all that shit they say in the One Piece. Except one problem.
Yeah, I like that he keeps on going back to this One Piece bit. That's good. he talked about One Piece a lot in this one.
No one he cares about gives a shit. Hated by almost everyone he's worked with after he's betrayed and backstabbed his way to the top, his wife leaves him on the day of his promotion, and to top it all off, he finds out that one of his closest ex-co-workers has just committed Jump King. So, is there really anything to celebrate about? Alone and despised, he turns to his last remaining friend. A good old bottle of Jack, baby. Yeah, that'll never betray me. Except it does. And he dies. Well, that shit just be hitting different today because he inexplicably wakes up 20 years younger right before the job interview for the very company he would inevitably become the CEO of, with a new chance to redo all of his past wrongs. This is a good old-fashioned corporate drama with a regression twist, and while you might be able to guess how this all plays out, the first thing that stood out to me about A Man's Man is just exactly what the protagonist's regression abilities are used for. Of course, with the company's future CEO with all the knowledge he has starting from ground zero again, you know what to expect. He's gonna climb the ladder even faster, play the company politics perfectly to a T, expose all the people who were a thorn in the time he was there, and everyone around him is left dick in hand wondering how the hell a young upstart can play the corporate game so well. But while many regression manhwa focus solely on the protagonist finding success in whatever field...
Bro, I'm gonna tell you one thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I will do. When this video is over, I'm gonna get a sheet of paper, I'm gonna get a pen, and I'm gonna write down some of these. I'm gonna go back through it. I'm gonna write down some of these series because that shit sounds kind of interesting.
Therein, Yu Yon's energy is put into making sure his entire team finds success and rising up together. He makes sure his co-workers...
By the way, as far as manhwa goes, now I know we're talking about regression specifically. As far as manhwa goes, what I have read is I read all of high school. Wow, God of High School. What season 1 is? I read all of season 1 before the anime came out. Like, I just happened to read that much, and then season 1 came out. I was like, oh, well, okay, well, I read that. So I've read that. I've read through, I guess, what season 2 will be of Tower of God. And actually, those videos are on my Twitch channel. In case you want to see my reaction to them, whatever, if you're interested. What else? I read Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint through like 50 chapters. I read all of Solo Leveling, and I've read something else. One other series, I think. I think I read one more, but I can't remember what it is. Anyways, that's it. So I haven't read a ton of manhwa. I just want to get that out the way.
That equally seen ensures that the actual people doing the hard work are the ones that get the recognition and not the loudmouth bosses standing above them. This isn't a story about a man who gained success. This is a story of a man who already found success but regrets the way he got there. In a sense, there wasn't a single person responsible for the thorny path he took in his first life, but it was the result of the highly toxic work culture that the company had fostered for itself, and it's that culture that Yu Yon is really fighting against, not by completely destroying the company, but changing it from within. Yes, this is a power fantasy, but it is a power fantasy for anyone who's ever worked in a big corporation.
I like this.
Absolutely insignificant.
I want to check this thing out.
Sometimes daydream to yourself, fuck me, if I was in charge, I'd be able to get rid of all these rotten parts I have to deal with on a daily basis, humble some of these overconfident, useless managers who don't seem to do anything, and actually run a tight ship. Put that in a setting of working in a massive electronics company with their teams.
Is that the Office theme song? Why is the Office theme song playing?
Specializing in working for developing screens for electronic devices, right before the era where some fruit company announces this phone that you can control purely through touch, and that probably won't be relevant or anything, and you got yourself a pretty fun read. But sometimes, after reading a bunch of manhwa, you encounter a title that doesn't really belong in any category you usually see, but still goes bloody hard, like the next series, Chosu Saves the World. On Earth's final day, Chosu bears witness to a giant asteroid plummeting towards our planet. Scientific organizations detected the massive rock far too late and miscalculated it to be a near miss. All attempts to destroy or divert the thing have failed. As just a normal Korean office worker, Chosu, like many other people, was completely powerless to stop this fate, and all he can do is crack open one last cold one and give one final toast as he watches the world come to an end.
Damn. Regression!
But we all know this is a regression story where the end is just the beginning of the end. Again, Chosu wakes up decades earlier as a kid. No mentions of any asteroid, no one panicking at the end of the world, just one lone boy armed with Windows 2000. Or, Microsoft Windows 2000? Oh, we're doomed. With his knowledge alone of Earth's inevitable fate, he gathers his strength, looks up to the sky and goes, oh, that asteroid's going down. I don't want to close my eyes.
Okay, dude.
I don't. I wish it was that epic. Chosu saves the world, takes the sometime render approach. He tries to save the world, fails, and every time he does, he wakes up 3 months past where he woke up on his previous attempt. But unlike summertime render, each loop is not days or weeks, but are decade-long attempts to explore the question of, is it realistically possible for a single person to save the world? Which, if you think about it, is pretty damn difficult. You might know an asteroid is coming to hit Earth, but what the fuck can you do? You're the only one who does, and you're just a bloody kid. The rest of the kids around you have just graduated from shitting their pants phase to eating boogers phase. Even if you have decades, what is the right approach to take to correct the course of history? Let's say you want to warn NASA super early that there's an asteroid coming. Well, you're just a fucking nobody who sounds like your run-of-the-mill crazy person who watched 2012 once and thought it was a documentary. Plus, they've already detected it before and thought it was going to be a near miss, remember? Do you really think they're going to take your word over their own scientific minds? Tough luck, kid. Go back to shitting your pants. Alright, well, I have decades, so how about I study astronomy and get myself into a position where I can develop anti-asteroid technology as early as possible so we'll be ready when that asteroid gets detected. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. But this raises a different issue. How do you get into a position influential enough where you can do such a thing? Where the hell are you going to get funding to pursue a project that will seem totally irrelevant until it's too late? Shall I hit up Daddy Elon to pump all his money into this instead of buying some bird website? Maybe I can convince coffee enthusiasts to use a percentage of their enthusiasm for developing a better cup of coffee into developing tech that could save humanity. And brew a cup of coffee. Loop after loop, layers get added to the plan, more problems arise that need to be overcome.
This looks
Time
really
gets wasted specking into the wrong tech tree.
Dude, right now he's hit me with 2 series that I really want to read, but I'm torn because what do I do? What is my job, if you will? It is reacting to anime. What if these series get anime adaptations?
Maybe you find out that a solution is theoretically possible, but you need to influence the technology infrastructure first to make it viable. This hits a grounded sci-fi drama itch I haven't felt since watching The Martian. Add in Armageddon with a little sprinkle of Steins Gate, and you have a title I finished in a single night. If you can keep your suspension of disbelief in check, especially in season 2, and buy into this fact that every single influential person humanity ever needed is conveniently placed in this one school, then for the most part, this was an absolutely gripping and grounded exploration of what could happen if we needed to.
That is one thing that I really hate about anime and stuff is when like it's like, oh yeah, the most powerful person is Japanese. Every single time. The most powerful people in the world are in this, they're all Japanese. Or they're all Korean if it's a manhwa, right? The best, nobody anywhere else matters. This fantasy thing is happening in this world, but only in Japan. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? You think this is, how is that gonna happen? Tell me there's like, I'm not even saying like, oh, there should be an American. Like, no, dude. I'm just saying, you're telling me all of these people, like, what is the population of Japan versus the entire world? Can't throw in like one American, like at least one person from China, one person from India. No, like, come on, dude. I don't know. That's one thing that always like pissed me off, dude. So like him saying this thing, like if you can suspend your belief in the whole like this. Like everyone that needs to save the world is in this country, is in this, like, you know, then, okay. Yeah. Those types of things always just piss me off. But I get it. Like, it's for the story, you know, like convenience sake. I don't know.
Then for the most part, this was an absolutely gripping and grounded exploration of what could happen if we needed to advance our space exploration infrastructure. Especially when real life proposed solutions I could find for stopping an asteroid go something like,
how about this? The laser bees.
Oh, what's this? An asteroid is on its way to destroy all life on Earth? Send out the laser bees! That pretty much sums up my introduction to regression manhwa. There is one more title I was planning to talk about.
Yes, sir, but it's gonna get that animated.
That's not technically regression, but definitely takes the core of...
That's what I'm saying! It's not technically regression, like, but it's got regressors.
Peel and spins it into its own unique thing that I feel has the potential to be the next big thing after solar leveling. But, you know, I think that deserves a video on its own. So, until then,
oh,
I'm
cool.
going to take a break.
When that video happens, I will be reacting to it.
Break from my Isekai and regression brain rot for real this time and start diving into some good, critically acclaimed anime again. What's this? Cultivation manhwa from China? Oh no.
Let's get it.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing, dude. There's also that there's Chinese manhwa, right? And that has its own thing. I guess it's the cultivation or whatever, but I guess a lot of those are very similar. Just like how there's the regression or the Isekai, they've got their own thing that they do a lot of stories about. Anyways, man, good video. I'm glad that Gigguk's talking about this. Maybe we can get more anime fans into manhwa. Maybe we can get more people saying, oh, we want manhwa anime adaptations. And then that can happen. That would be great. I literally said this on the last reaction I did for something. Oh, man. I don't don't even remember. Maybe it was during the solo leveling. But I've been saying it for a while, man. I've been saying that I don't want so much isekai. Cut out some of these isekai. Give us some manhwa. You could throw a couple of regression stories in there or other shit. Like, bro, he just named 2 series that seem so good. I would love to see anime adaptations for them. Anyways, I'm really glad that he did this. What did you guys think about this? I'm gonna go and write down these titles and maybe read them. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It's kind of tough. They sound good, but what if they get anime adaptations? It's pretty tough. I don't want to ruin that for the sake of reacting. But I'll think about it. I'm gonna write them down for sure, and I might read them. What is your favorite manhwa? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.